What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be talking about some planned BR discussions. Now, if you're curious about the plane aspect of these planned discussions, Spitfire and I have decided to collaborate without actually collaborating, I guess. So link to his video will be in the description down below. He's going to be talking about the planes. And quick, before we hop into this, this is something I haven't mentioned in a while, but I do work with Goat Guns. If you don't know who Goat Guns is, they make these miniature replica model guns, all made out of metal, and they're really nice desk ornaments. I have mine sitting behind me on one of these stands. So if you want to check that out, link in the description down below. They have full actuating receivers. The mags come out, there's some little bullets in there, and they just basically look really good. They make good gifts, and if you're a fan of weapons, you might have full-size weapons. You might want one on your desk because you can't just keep an AK lying around here, you know what I'm saying? But now that we got that out of the way, on the left-hand side of my screen, I'm going to be reading off some of the ground vehicle changes, and in the background, you're going to just be seeing me make the points that I've been making. So we'll just minimize this, put this in the corner, maybe that corner maybe. Well, I guess, yeah. So put myself in that corner. What we're going to talk about today is some of the issues I have with these planned BR changes. There are two that are pretty notable. And if you're also wondering, at least an update, I left a mustache. I just want to see what it looked like. And for those guys who helped me with the ulnar nerve, I think you were correct. So I did a lot of swimming, which I haven't done in a while. I know it's funny, but not like swimming. I was just in the pool with my brothers and I was messing around. And then after that, I did sleep on a buddy's couch. And I think, yeah, it was just something with using my arms and getting muscles used that I haven't in a while. It's right in here, right on my scapula. And some people were like, oh, it's set on carpal tunnel, it's this, it's that. But there were a key few of you who were actually spot on the point. You said it's like your tennis elbow nerve that goes up straight to your elbow. I've hit my elbow really bad before. You know, you hit your funny bone, it's not that funny. I've done that before, and I felt it in this side of my hand. And, you know, it was actually crazy. Just start feeling by your scapula, and if you feel a really tight, I have a knot right here in my shoulder. But my hand feels better today. It's not tingly or anything like that, so thank you guys. But we have a lot of changes for realistic. I'm not going to talk about sim changes because sim changes don't matter unless the lineups change, and I'm not going to talk about arcade changes because I don't play arcade. The link to this form will be in the description down below if you want to go check out any of the BR changes yourself. They're also changing some pricing on the economy stuff, which is all cool, fine, and dandy. Okay, so the biggest thing I have an issue with here, the absolute biggest thing. The T32 and the T32E1 are both going up 0.3 BR. So the T32E1, which is 7.3 now, I already think that that's pretty high for that tank, right? It's a heavy tank with a long reload. I understand that a lot of people have trouble penning it, but it's not as good as it's made out to be if you know how to deal with it. I mean, that's just something that you do. This tank is planned to be moved up to 7.7. Now, in the background, you're going to see me scroll around with some of the things that it'll be fighting at 7.7. So let's say best case scenario, you end up in a 7.7 game. Not only is the American heavy tank that is 7.7 have a little bit longer a reload, but it is offered way better ammunition, a way better gun. It's the M103. The T32E1 still has a very trash reload. It's 15.3 seconds, I believe, on mine. And I think I have an expert crew on it. So if you don't have an expert crew, if you're stock, you're not going to have a good time. Let's say worst case scenario, you end up in an 8.7 game. 8.7 games house T55 AMs. Now, there are other tanks at 8.7 that can do a ton of damage to the T32E1. Not only does this change negate its armor if it ends up in a equal tier or an up tier, but it also puts you against some tanks that are absolutely invincible. T55 AM being the main component. So if I'm in a Leopard 1, right, the 7.7 Leopard 1, no stabilizer, Heat FS is probably the best shell, but you also get APDS. I have trouble fighting T55 AMs, and I've been playing War Thunder for far too long. I've had too many hours on the game. So if I think that that's an almost unfair advantage for the T55 AM, right, fighting against it in a Leopard 1, what will a tank that is not offered heat and only has 220 mils of pen in its best case scenario supposed to do against a vehicle such as that? Absolutely nothing. Not only that, but mentioned the STB. Now, if I look over here, the STB is not planned to change at all this patch. So it's 7.7 with the stabilizer, with twice as fast of a reload. Sorry, my phone's on. Twice as fast of a reload, and it gets heat FS. So this change should not happen, in my opinion. I think that they need to re-look at this. I don't even think the normal T32 should go to 7.3. I think they should stay where they are. I don't know how many of you guys have issues with that. Maybe I can make a video showing you where to shoot the T32. But it's actually really easy. As long as you have more than like 180 mils of pen, you can overmatch the top of the turret on the left-hand side and one-shot the tank. Also, you can hit the lip where the armor plates meet. So let's say this is the lower front plate, this is the upper front plate. They're angled together. Right where my fingertips meet, there's a flat portion of metal, rolled homogeneous armor, where they interlock. And you can pen if you hit right on the dot there with pretty much any gun that can shoot at that. The next thing that I have an issue with, which I think a lot of you American guys are getting the shit end of the stick in this regard, but anybody at 4.7 can kind of complain about, or 5.7, excuse me, can complain about this. The Jagdtiger is going down to 6.7. So not only are we getting an oversaturation at 6.7 of German vehicles now, because all of the tanks that were formerly 7.0 are going down. I don't think the Jagdtiger and the T32E1 are too different. They're not that different from each other. The Jagdtiger, of course, gets a fantastic gun. It's slow, but it has awesome armor. You can't really pen it. Now, if you're in an up tier and you're facing a 7.7 game, it's something you can do in the Jagdtiger. It's completely fine. If you're facing an 8.0 game in the Jagdtiger, not the most fun, but you can still do it. You get a 128mm cannon that doesn't really care about anything. Whereas if you're in a 5.7 tank and you're facing a Jagdtiger, not many of the 5.7 tanks, if any, can penetrate the Jagdtiger from the front. And if you get on a city map like Rhine or Berlin, you're going to have quite a hard time if Jagdtiger decides to lock up a street. And not to mention that not only do you have to face Jagdtigers now, you're going to have to face the Panther 2s still and the Tiger 105s. And there's almost no point in using a Tiger 105 at that tier anymore because you don't get the benefit as opposed to the Jagdtiger. So the Jagdtiger has a gun that's big. It does a lot of damage. It's got the long reload, but it's faster than a Tiger 105. Tiger 105, of course, gets a turret, but does that really matter when the only thing that is the issue for you is getting penned in the side anyway? I would think more people are going to use the Jagdtiger. So those are the two things that I really had an issue on, and just scanning over that again, are the two T32s going up and the Jagdtiger going down. I think the Jagdtiger's fine at 7.0. I think Germany should have a lineup at 7.0. I don't know why they're getting farther away from that, and it almost seems like they're compressing BRs even more. But in terms of what the tank is, a World War II, post-World War II heavy tank, the T-32, I mean, it's pretty similar to anything else in the game. For example, at 8.3, Russia has the T-10M. So you're telling me that the T-32E1 is closer to the T-10M than, you know, something like, what, an IS-2? I highly disagree. I think the IS-2 is way closer in line to a T-32E1 than the T-10 is. T-10 gets a stabilizer, heat FS, high velocity APDS, and its armor is great. If you go against something like an IS-7, what can you do? Absolutely nothing. Some of the other noticeable changes that I don't think are problems, the R3 T106 FA, so that is the dual recoilless rifle little pizza box that Italy gets, is going up to 7.3. I don't have a problem with this. Light tanks like that have good ammunition and are super fast can do well at any tier. I think you could take that tank all the way up to 10.0. It's not going to negate the effects that that tank has as long as it has ammo that can penetrate vehicles from the side. The Hetzer is going down, which to 5.3, which I also, or 4.3, excuse me, which I don't really have an issue with. The Hetzer is pretty good, but it hasn't been Hetzing as much as it could. And the Sturm Mill is going down to 5 flat. So now you have to face at 4.0 potentially getting shot by a 128mm cannon. That's fun. The ISU 122 and 122S are going down. I think these are good changes. The ISU is a pretty shit tank. I don't know how many of you guys have ever played it, but it's not the easiest thing to play. The SU-85 is going down, which is nice. The Tiger H1 is going down to 5.3. I don't understand this change. I get that there should be a discrepancy between that and the Tiger E. I think that's where they're coming from for this, but it again opens up the same thing. If you're in a 4.3 in a complete up tier, what are you going to do against a Tiger? I mean, yeah, it only has 100 millimeters front plate armor, but someone like me or people who've been playing the game for far too long understand how to angle tanks, and they know that they don't have to deal with heat or anything like that at that tier. They're just going to angle and hit you with the 88 millimeter, and that's not a fun thing to do. The M26A1 is going down to 6.3, which is nice. Some of these lower tier Italian tanks are all getting dropped. So the 105-25 M43, the Leoncello, and the 75-34 M43 are going down to 3, 3, and 3.3 respective. The AMX 13 is going up to 6.3, and the SU 122-54 is going down to 7. So, you know, I still think the biggest issues are the T32 and the Yak Tiger. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Again, go check out Spit's video if you want to see the plane changes that are coming. I had some choice words about the CL going up and the MiGs going down. I'm curious to see what he has to say about that. So, as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you all for watching. Peace, peace. Say